So for the Army, it's 1500 hours. For the Navy, it's 6 bells in the afternoon watch. For Twickenham, it's all systems go. One of the biggest sporting stages for one of the oldest of rivalries, the Reds against the Blues. The 90th time that HQ has hosted them. Tom Foley, the man on the whistle, the biggest match that he's refereed. Nathan Huntley gets things underway. The Army, of course, cannot win this title, something that's only happened twice in the last 18 years. How are they going to respond to that defeat in Aldershot 9 days ago?
Well, if ever you want an indication of how a team's going to play, you see it right there from the kickoff. 4 passes out to the wing, and the Army immediately think that the space is out on the flanks.
Well, you can see immediately trying to get so much width on the ball. Rokadanguni immediately getting his mitts on the ball and having to do some hard yards. Of course, his club mates were on duty over the road last night at the Stoop. Nathan Huntley always looking to counter-attack. His 4th season in the Navy. His first season was as a centre, now in control of the attacking momentum that the Blues will get.
Yeah, and I think, look, I mean, that I think goes to show that actually, regardless of whether all your talent is out on the wing, you have to earn that right to go out there. Yes, you've got these wonderful outside backs who relish that space, but you know, certainly in the early exchanges, you know the Navy are going to be on the front foot. They're going to be moving around fast, and you know, the first opportunity the Army get, they attack from in their own 22. They cleared badly. Huntley counter-attacks, you know, and an opportunity for 3 points. And I think, you know, that is more really a manifestation of, I think, poor strategy from the Army in the opening exchanges than it is good play from the Navy.
So the first opportunity for points, but from distance. John Humphrey sends it on its way. Has it got enough petrol? Yes, it has! It creeps over the crossbar, but it brings the Blue fans in the crowd to their feet for the first time. John Humphreys, who's been in fine form from the tee so far this season, and a valuable 3 points. That's a big start for the Navy, Pat.
That's a massive kick, isn't it? Right out on the left-hand side there, barely inside the opposition half, and a great kick. And if there's ever any doubt in the Navy guy's mind that, you know, they weren't going to win this game, I think that pretty much will dispel that, and they'll be feeling very, very confident now. 3-0 up, and yeah, I mean, they will feel their year right now.
We've talked about the control that they bring into their everyday lives, but the surge of emotion and adrenaline that must be coursing through their veins in these first 10 minutes or so is difficult to control.
No, unquestionably, and you feel that even just watching the national anthems and seeing the guys down there and just hearing the noise. This is as loud as Twickenham gets. You know, and I don't think, you know, some internationals playing here, you know, will not experience an atmosphere like this. It's truly passionate, and for that reason, it's, as you can see, tempers are fraying, and it's no great surprise, is it?
So Owen Davis, who was a replacement in that RAF game, came on for James Dixon and made a fair old impression, as to be said, scoring a good try. Now has the first chance to kick points. Joined the Army as a 21-year-old, had a couple of years out with injury, but now back in fine form. That is a brilliant start from Owen Davis. Everything that the Army fans wanted to see with the first kick of the match has come from the 25-year-old Welshman. Well, a good start from both teams off the tee, and a good start from both teams in getting their attacking game into some sort of movement, momentum. Dwyer just bundling his team up into opposition territory, but the blue line set on halfway. Prasad, though, sees a gap. Referee saw a crossing, and they're going to come back for the penalty.
Much to the crowd's disappointment, as you can hear. We've seen that for Prasad a number of times, though. His initial pass is always behind the centre. It's out it's out the back, as you would call it, so it's a very, very deep, and it's just bringing the Navy defence onto them. They're finding it hard to control that gain line as a result, and on that occasion, rather than passing the ball behind his back, he decided to run behind his back, and the referee quite rightly calling a crossing. He's a real live wire, Prasad, though. He's a tremendous threat himself, but at the moment, just sitting, I think, a little bit too deep and pulling that first pass back a little bit too deep, and it's just allowing the Navy defence to take the yards now. Well, we know he's got the length, don't we, for this kick?
Slightly longer kick, perhaps, this time for John Humphrey, but he's put one over. Can he do it again? It's looking good, but it bounces off the woodwork. So close for John Humphrey. Dave Fairbrother had a fantastic season, Fairbrother. A little stab kick through brings pressure onto Bunamakau. Well, welcome to the Army-Navy game. His first experience of Twickenham, albeit this his third Army cap. And there's Ramakita. He is a real dog of war in that 7th shirt. He will hunt everything down.
So interesting, really. I mean, as good as the Army back three are, the likes of Ramakata and Rokandanguni, ball in hand, running back, they are not kickers of the ball, and we've seen a couple of occasions now the Navy guys kicking to them, good kick chase, and you know what is ultimately a strength of the Army is also a weakness. When the kick chase is good and there's no space for these guys to run back, and another good opportunity and more pressure for the Navy.
Joe P trying to pick and drive from the base, but no way through. Channel invites the forwards to try their luck a little further out before releasing the ball back to Owen Davis. Well, we saw this for the last 2 or 3 years. Indeed, the Navy tend to be the quicker guys out of the blocks, tend to get points on the board, but with all the pressure they've had in the first 10 minutes or so, only 3 points will not give them any reassurance, shall we say, much as their general attacking play will be everything that Ash Coates will have asked from them.
Well, I think from their perspective, it all comes down to whether they can maintain their defensive shape for the entire game. If they run out of steam in the last 20 minutes, then the Army runners, as we will see, will start to get a bit more space and they'll find it a bit easier. If they've got the legs for 80, then I think they can close this game out. Because what they do have is more physicality, better go forward, and at the moment, certainly the upper hand up front.
Chris Budgeon, again, coming around the outside. Now this game coming to the boil very quickly. Budgeon, been there, seen it, done it in most shirts of the game. 42 years of age, and knew exactly what he was doing at that breakdown. Well, the discipline upsetting the Navy there. The penalty's been reversed, but that concrete cannonball of a prop, Chris Budgeon, a major irritant already for the Navy boys.
Well, he does most of his work in and around the tight now, doesn't he? And a real enforcer for many years. But you can see it's right on the edge, isn't it, in terms of physicality, and at the moment, both sides struggling to maintain their discipline. And Budgeon it was, yeah. Well,
you can't miss him, though, can you?
No, bit daft, handbags, nothing too serious, but as you'd expect, no one taking a backward step, not more so than Matty Dwyer there. No, you've got to love it.
Budgeon, who sets an Army record today, 39 Army caps, goes past Ben Hughes, 38. Ben Hughes now one of the assistant coaches for the Army. Coriardi taking an arcing run to try and gain some territorial movement, but the ball's come loose, and I think that's Ramakita who's snaffled it. And look to the near side, they've got the referee's decision, the advantage. Pascoe has to set it back. Again, it's an Army front rower who's gone offside, this time Ricky Reeves. Huntley gets the call, but doesn't get the ball away. So they have to go back for that advantage.
It's a real physical confrontation up front at the moment. Big tackles, low and hard. Absolutely no yards to be made from either side, and there'll be some bruised bodies tomorrow, I tell you, from this game.
We had to remember last year we had 3 tries inside the first 20 minutes, and all 3 tries were scored by front rowers. Ricky Reeves wasn't one of them. 2 to Ben Priddy and 1 to Budgeon last year. There's Josh Terry unable to bring the ball under control.
No matter how experienced you are, that, you know, playing in this environment on a day like today, when Twickenham really is rocking, you know, affects the most experienced players.
Jopie holding and waiting for the whistle. The Army have actually had Tom Foley's refereeing guidance before the beginning of the inter-services last season. He had to step up as a late replacement for the Army RAF game at RAF Halton. A young referee who's really making his name in the professional game. Half a dozen Premiership games already on his CV. Dwyer finds ball, and the ball immediately goes into midfield. Prasad coming round on that wrap. Willimakau gets the ball out of Owen Davies. Rokananguni hanging wide on the right. Ball not released. Good work from Fairbrother, sniping around the fringe. John Marlin playing his last game for the Navy.
Yeah, just a little bit over-eager, weren't they, on that second bite to the cherry there, but yeah, you watch how far the Army actually go back to go round the Navy there. 3-4 passes behind the back, going back 20 metres to come forward 20, and then ultimately the Navy knocking them off round about on the gain line.
It was interesting, Andy Sanger was saying to me during the week that for the first 15-20 minutes he wants structure put into their game. He wanted Prasad and Chennel to put them in the right positions. Obviously they have the attacking options, but he just wanted to settle their game in rather than go all-out sevens action from the word go.
Yeah, but I don't think these guys have got any idea how to put structure into a game. You know, Prasad knows one way, and that is, give me the ball, let's play some rugby, guys, and it's fantastic to watch. But going back to that last kind of phase of play here, you know, it's incredibly complicated. 2 or 3 pressure passes, they take 20 metres back, they come 20 metres forward, and actually you achieve the same result pretty much by Prasad taking the ball flat and hitting one of his centres and recycling quick ball in midfield, and it's incredibly high-risk stuff. And at the moment, the Navy defence is more than a match for it. Now, will that continue as this game wears on? And as you rightly say, the adrenaline levels start to dip a bit.
Oh, just when you thought it was going to go wide, it drips and dips underneath the post. That looked for all money like it was coming back and going through, and then suddenly it gave up the ghost.
It really did, didn't it? Another well-struck kick that looked like a certain 3 points. Huddersfield, anyway, in the commentary box. Oh, narrowest of margins. 3 all's about right, though, I'd suggest, for the opening 18 minutes of this game.
Well, you talk about the Army not being able to make too much headway against the Navy line. Of course, their normal number 8, Ephraimi Bollandau, hurt himself against the wrap, and that gives a little more physical presence around that first take-up, that's for sure. Jopie, a different type of number 8, more of a ball player, as I mentioned earlier. Johnny Stevens, a definite ball player, gets the call inside. I wonder whether there was a bit of a ghost call coming in there. Fairbrother gets a little help from Kyle Mason. There's Josh Terry. Joined the Britannia Royal Navy College this week. Transfers to the Fleet Air Arm. Pilot required to be 96 kilos, had to drop from 105. Now tried to put the weight back on, but right now he's watching as Willimakau goes for goal. Well, was he taken out late? The ball cleared out by Humphreys, but Willimakau lying prone on the Navy 10-metre line.
Well, there you see a glimpse, don't you, of just what these runners are capable of. you give them an inch and they will take 60 yards, and just deadly ball in hand with any space at all. There's 3 or 4 of them across that Army backline that can do this sort of thing. You see, he puts on the foot, does he get hit late? Oh, I think he's making a real meal of that. I think he's making a real meal of it. Perhaps, was it Fairbrother there? Perhaps could have pulled out, but I really don't think that was too bad. It was very half-hearted.
Do you think he could have pulled out of it?
He might have been able to pull out of it, but in all honesty, and he may well pick up a bad penalty here, but I don't believe this guy's hurt. I may be wrong, and if I am, I apologise, but I think he's milking it a little bit.
It's Dave Fairbrother, the number 8, who's gone in there. And he's going to see yellow. Fairbrother is going to sit out 10 minutes. So we're coming to the end of the first quarter. And now the Navy have to sit out with 14 men.
And Fairbrother's been good, hasn't he, in these opening exchanges. He's been right at the front of the ball carrying. He's very, very important to the Navy team, and I think psychologically, as well as losing his ability, that's a big blow. I'm absolutely certain this guy will get up and carry on, though.
Well, there you see the burst from the Fijian winger. Fairbrother, it looked to me, Pat, I have to say, like he could have pulled out of that.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think a yellow's fair, but there's no question that was milked, and I don't like seeing it. You know, like, you don't take a dive in rugby, it's not what we do, and yeah, real shame. But there we go. Yeah, I guess the thing, you know, when you're 3-all, you'll do anything you can to get to edge ahead, and this puts the Army in front, and with the Navy down to 14 and losing such an influential player, the next 10 minutes are going to be incredibly important.
Well, Bunamakau, who was groomed by his father, who's a Fijian Sevens star himself, and of course with the Royal Scots, won the Middlesex Sevens here at Twickenham. So he knows all about the game. Owen Davis with the simplest of his 3 opportunities thus far. Well, they had to wait till 50 minutes last year to go into the lead. They've only had to wait till 20 minutes this year. And for the first time, the Army pushed themselves in front. Marsh Cormack, big week for the Scottish second row. Became a father for the first time on Thursday. And now playing his last game for the Navy. That was brilliant hands from Patheli Nathamavutu. Plucking that ball out of the air. Prasad eager to get it wide quickly, but the pass from Coriardi was dipping and fading and evading the hands of Bunamakau. Well, the Army have been looking to run from any position so far inside this first quarter or so. And there's the 24-year-old.
And it's just execution that's letting them down at the moment, isn't it? Because the runners are out there, the space is there, but, you know, executing on a Wednesday night in training is far, far easier than executing in a cauldron like this, let me tell you.
And they've got to try and make the most of the man's difference inside the next 7 minutes, and you can see the urgency to find the width on the ball and see if they can make some headway through those gaps.
I think you're right, you know, they'll want to score a try, they'll want to get a good 10 points clear. Given the opportunity they've got in the next 10 minutes, and at the moment the Navy doing a pretty good job of containing them and controlling possession, and a good drive here from this line-out.
Well, Ben Priddy, hat-trick hero last year, albeit in a losing cause, scored the first and last tries. Stephen feeding out to his voracious forward pack, led by Cormack. Huntley looks for that diagonal kick pass. Owen Davis has read it and read it really well, and my goodness me, he needed to catch that one.
Acres of space out there, wasn't there? He read it beautifully. The Navy guys had lined up, and well, I suspect if there's just another couple of meters on that kick, it would have gone the way of the Navy man, and well, that would have been a real turn-up, given they're down to 14 men. You can see it just drifts to the right, doesn't it, in the air, and if it hadn't have done, well, the Army were in real trouble there. well-executed kick all the same, and covered beautifully, didn't he, Owen Davies?
Yes, he needed to make that one because Marlin was hanging outside wide of Humphreys as well. The Army securing the ball and getting the referee's call as well. Kyle Mason and Ned Pascoe at the bottom of that ruck.
Really is loud here, isn't it? As you can hear Sweet Chariot ringing out around Twickenham. This is a big opportunity now for the Army. Attacking line out, 25 metres out.
Well, let's get down to the touchline and find some thoughts from the training camps, like from the coaching camps, I should say. Kath Frazier, who have you got with you?
I'm here with Navy head coach Ash Coates. And Ash, how are you feeling? Navy sort of normally hit it hard in the first 20 minutes, but they're being held back here.
Yeah, we're being held back a bit at our own cost as well for a bit of ill discipline. We just need to get that focus back, go back to basics a little, defend with a bit of patience, and just because we're not, miles in front or anything like that, we're starting with a bit more patience. So look, it's an 80-minute game. We remain in that game towards the end. So we're confident with where we are. We just hold that shape in defence and try and just hold on to the ball a little bit better and keep our discipline, which is ultimately costing us a little bit at the moment.
But regardless of what you think, whether Fairbrother should have been penalised or he's gone off, how are you going to cope with 14 men up?
It's obviously hard. We've got to work a little bit harder now while he's off. We already took 3 points on that, but we came back well. Again, we've just got to be patient. That clock's nearly down already, and that gives us a bit more impetus when he goes back up to 15.
Thanks, Ash.
Well, the Army straight back onto attacking mode inside the 22. Dwyer using his footballing skills to trap it, but it just stalls the momentum. Well, that blue line really being tested now. The Army seem to have numbers to spare out wide. Channel whips it out to his skipper. Barrow ball looking for the offload. Budgeon, basketball style, Prasad feeds it back into Nathamabutu. Great tackle, I think it was Greg Welling there. Forcing the Army back now to the 22. Marsh Cormack leading the charge, wrapping Jopi up. He's given away a penalty though.
Oh, that's tough, isn't it, really, from the ref? Fantastic defence from the Navy, forcing them back all of 20 metres. And you're right, plenty of numbers for the Army, but the Navy defence working so hard on the inside shoulder that any little offload ball on the inside was quickly mopped up. Good, low, hard tackles, and at the moment, well, they're having to give absolutely everything to keep what is a pretty potent Army attack out. And but you can see the Navy boys just lining up to make those tackles, and the minute they get the opportunity to take line speed and just take a few yards out of the Army, they're doing it really, really well, and a well-drilled side. You can see there, brilliant inside defence, just mopping up anything on the inside, and well, they'll feel a little bit aggrieved to have given that penalty away, I think, at the end.
A similar kick from the last one that took the Army into the lead. Deja vu from that point of view. And now, as we look towards the half-hour mark, a 6-point advantage for the Army.
One of the things you sense, though, is that the Navy don't have the same sort of game breakers that the Army have. They're going to have to build their scores, and as a result, 6, 9, 12 points becomes a fairly difficult task for them.
There you can see the inter-services table as it stands. We'll try and keep that updated for you through the course of the game. A fair few more twists and turns, that's for sure, over the course of the next 52 and a bit minutes. Dwyer trying to bundle his way up towards his own 10-metre line. You see the numbers the Army are getting in the wide channels. Great offload from Vessels. Bulamaka threatening once again. Good tackling once again coming in from the Navy defence, but it's going to take its toll. They've got numbers again to the right. Budgeon pushes it out, and it's gone to Will Jones. Well, he can score for Cambridge University at Twickenham. Now he's scored for the Army at Twickenham. And the first try is on the board, and it's gone to the Army second lower.
Yeah, and a well-worked try it was as well. Great execution, getting it out to the wings. As soon as those guys are in space, it just looks like trouble for the Navy. They did well, actually, to stem the initial attack, but then after that, it was good hands again. And Budgeon it was. And you can see here, can't you? Hint of forward, perhaps, there from that offload, but they did well to stem the tide here. But then good execution again. And a little nicely rounded off, wasn't it, by the big second row.
Good handling. Good job he's 6'4", 6'5" to pull that one in.
Yeah, and I don't suppose, though, that's the position that Chris Budgeon's all that used to. Full flight in the centres, having to give a pass off his left-hand side. Still, well executed, and right at the end of the sin bin, the Navy will be back to 15 after the kick, and, well, the Army have done the damage, haven't they?
Well, it's 11 points that have been conceded during the absence of that man, Dave Fairbrother. Coming to the half-hour mark now, and the Army will look at that scoreboard and think, happy with their lot, I suspect.
I'll tell you what, it's quick hands from Budgeon, wasn't it, when you look at it in real time? Wasn't easy, and it was off his left hand as well. Having said that, he is old enough to have practiced that once or twice.
He's old enough to have played against you, isn't he?
OK, back to the game.
Channel with the clearance kick. Now then, from a Navy perspective, I guess they now have to settle themselves back in and just get their attacking game flowing again, because we saw it in the first 10-15 minutes without actually giving them too many try-scoring opportunities. They've got to get that confidence with ball in hand.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to lack the confidence with ball in hand, but I think they have to play a very different way. They have to play with more structure. It's about building a score. It's about using all 15 guys to get over the whitewash. They don't have the game breakers that the Army have got. It starts up front like this with a decent drive, and those big men in the centres. It's a very different approach, but it can be equally as effective as long as they can maintain their discipline.
Well, discipline from the Navy pack as they try and make more headway from this driving ball. Ben Priddy urging his team forward now. Sets up again for another thrust with Pascoe leading the way.
Well, they've got the penalty. It's almost a free shot out wide, isn't it, if they want to have a go?
Advantage still there. Dave Fairbrother, no doubt, eager to make up for his 10 minutes in the sin bin.
You look at Bunamasi, he's on the front foot here.
Little stab through from Huntley. Bunamasi can't get the roll of the ball. It was rolling away from the Navy 13.
1 and 6.
They're going to go back for the penalty, but that could have been an invaluable 7-point addition for the Navy, because it was right behind the post too.
Well, it was a cruel bounce of the ball, wasn't it? Bunamasi was on the front foot there. Well read again. I mean, they've done their homework, the Navy guys. You know, Ashcoats spent a year with Saracens in the stats team, as it were, and coaching down there. And you can see, well, he read it badly, didn't he, Bunamasi? And I think if he'd have been all out and if he'd have read the bounce of that ball a little bit better.
It was just rolling away, wasn't it? It was like an off break.
But when it left the boot of the fly half, he looked like the favourite to get to it, didn't he?
Yep. Yes, Ashcoats has used the Saracens link this week with brother Alex coming in for some motivational words now. Ben Priddy is the man at the bottom, as ever, of a Navy ruck. Anybody seen the ball?
You can.
That's Josh Terry with his hands on it.
Normally, though, you'd expect them to celebrate a little bit more than that. You can normally tell by the players' reactions, can't you?
David Sainsbury, the television match official, is going to be asked to provide judgment on this. Good leg drive. The ball was there. Looks like a try from this angle.
It really does look like a try, doesn't it? And slightly surprised, really, by the reaction of the players. You'd expect them to be jumping up and down, delighted. Just a pat on the head.
If it is, it's the Navy tight head who's finished it off.
Wow, that to me looks like a try. Now you can see a hand pushing it down, good downward pressure. Initially, wasn't it? Off the boot of Will Jones.
It's Ben Pretty driving through there.
I don't think Pretty touches it down.
Pretty doesn't, no, Pretty doesn't. It's there.
It comes off the boot of Will Jones.
And then it's Josh Terry who comes through to press it down. Let's see what the officials are going to make of this.
I may award the try. Yeah, thank you. Time on, please.
Tries on the board for the Navy. Josh Terry gets the credit. And a vital 5 points to reaffirm Navy confidence in this game.
Well, that's a big moment in the game for the Navy, isn't it? The game was slipping away, undoubtedly. And they're right back in it now. And I think more than that, they've shown, I think, that they're getting that attacking half. They know what their game is. They've taken them on up front. And they've got their just rewards. And I think that will give them a tremendous amount of confidence. And they know exactly where to go now to get back into this game.
Well, the forwards uniting to provide the power thrust down that blind side, led by the skipper, finished by the tight head. And now John Humphrey looking to add an important 2. He's nailed that one. That is an excellent kick from the Navy fullback. And this game goes back in the mix.
Oh, these boys can really kick as well. We haven't seen a difficult kick today missed, really, have we? There's one on the halfway line again, but 2 enormously difficult kicks which he's managed to execute. Similarly from the Army kicker, and both of them great kickers, and both of them, well, keeping their teams ticking over and moving forward. And it was just Will Jones there, a little bit high in the tackle. Navy guys got underneath him, and as you say, 14-10, and we are game on again.
Pretty.
Not help.
Been playing quite a bit at flanker this season as well as hooker. He has that capacity, that dynamic, if you will, in his game. Joe Pete just taking a look at the options in front of him. Dwyer. See everybody happy to get their hands on the ball. There's Ricky Reeves. Now playing Premiership rugby, of course, with London Welsh. One of 3 professional players in the Army ranks. Rokodonguni and Dwyer, the other 2. Akamavuto again getting it out to Bulamaka. Owen Davis, I think, tripped up his own winger then. To the relief of the Navy.
Push.
Spun out right to Coriardi. They go again. Jopie looking for the offload. Gets the call from Reeves. And the Army taking the shortest route to market. Coriardi again happy to do those hard yards, that the breaking of the game line. Budgeon, try scorer last season. Now the Navy have to be patient in defence as the Army try and manipulate their line out of order. And the ball comes loose from Jopie, and Johnny Stephen hacks the ball clear. There's a ricochet, but they're going to go back for that knock-on.
It's a fascinating contest, isn't it? I mean, you've got good defensive integrity from the Navy. Their line speed, their shape is good. You know, the likes of the back row, and in particular Ramakita tackling absolutely everything that moves. In the Army, well, just some brilliant individuals, great offloading ability, some lovely hands, and really testing what is a pretty organised Navy defence.
You can see the threat of this young man Bulamaka on the wing. And certainly Jopie has had so much to do as the fulcrum of so many of the Army attacks.
Yeah, he's allowed the odd mistake, I guess.
That's a big scrum from the Army. Fairbrother losing his footing at a vital time, but recovering well.
Yeah, Fairbrother did well to get away from that scrum, because Budgeon Very, very powerful there on the right-hand side, and the Navy scrum was under real pressure.
Good relieving kick from Nathan Huntley. Well, Chris Budgeon will be pleased to still be on the park, because if you remember last year, 29 minutes and he was hauled off, much to his disgruntlement. It looks like he's going to get at least a full 40 in, if not longer. The big Kiwi prop, such a character, not only around the Army camp, but around Northampton, Exeter, and any other team he's pulled the shirt on for.
Well, it's a quick game out there, and the conditions are hot as well, so I'd be surprised if he made it much past the half. Lovely start to play that, wasn't it, from the Army?
Big hit from Ramakita on Gerard Vessels. Really are getting their shoulders into the tackle now. Will Jones steps through, and Will Jones is going to go in for his second, and the Army second.
That's the Budgeon-Jones combination again, isn't it? Brilliant hands from Budgeon again. Will Jones, what a good athlete he is, and well, the Army well back in control, and really, it's a fantastic tackle again by Ramakita. Looked like they'd slowed the ball down, and it didn't look like there was too much on coming back left, but well, every time Budgeon touches the ball, someone scores.
Well, here we go. Looked like they were man marking, okay, but suddenly Jones steps out and strides out of the tackle, and the platoon commander of the Royal Welsh goes in for his second, and at a key time to score as well, Pat. Psychologically, that is huge.
Yeah, undoubtedly, that really changes the momentum of the game, and it was Ed Pascoe just lost himself in defence, turned in, ball watching a little bit, I think. He looked at Budgeon carrying the ball up, probably thought he was just going to carry it. Turned in towards Budgeon, Budgeon threw the pass, caught him by surprise, and Will Jones able to beat him on the outside as a result. I genuinely believe that Pascoe got himself out of position because he thought that Budgeon was just going to carry, and so he turned his shoulder in and left himself too much to do. Will Jones showing just how quick he is.
Good conversion from Owen Davis, takes the Army past the 20-point mark. Well, fun in the sun for those wearing red, thanks to a brace from that man, Will Jones.
We'll see if we get a good look at it here. No, not a shot, isn't it? Did well though, plenty to do. And a brace tries for the big man.
Well, has that shaken things up in this game? It certainly may have changed team talks, certainly from Ash Coates in the Navy hutches. Great line again from Nathan. Oh, gets the call inside from Vessels, but the two Lance Corporals from the Royal Engineers not combining on that occasion.
And the Navy really must be careful. When they maintain line integrity, they're fine, but they rushed up there, didn't they? Trying to fix problems as individuals, made it far too easy.
Well, there you go. It's been a fascinating first 40, it has to be said. Some very impressive, open, flowing play from both sides indeed. The Army going in front, while the Navy had Fairbrother in the sin bin with that try from Will Jones. Josh Terry coming back to get the Navy back into the game. But Will Jones' try right at the end of that first half has set things up for the second. The Army leading 21-10 at the break. It's been a fascinating first 40. It means that at the moment the RAF will be lifting the Inter-Services Bowl for the first time for 21 years, unless the Navy can make up this 11-point deficit that fell against them through the course of the last 10 minutes or so. Chris Budgeon, when he's going to start the second half, he was the feed for both Will Jones tries in the first half. This huge crowd hoping and expecting for this final 40. Pat Sanderson alongside me. Do you expect things to change at all tactically in this second half. We've saw a very open first half.
I think what we saw in the first half was certainly the way both sides want to play. I think the guys in studio absolutely nailed it. For the Navy, it's all about patience. It's about playing with structure. But it's about actually not letting this situation run away with you. You saw on occasion individuals just coming out of shape and not fixing the problem. The Army, on the other hand, will be absolutely delighted with the way the game broke up at the end of that second half. And they'll hope that it continues that way.
Greg Welling coming around the M25 to try and make some headway, but getting up just over halfway. Huntley curling the ball around Owen Davis, but plenty of time for the Welsh fullback to settle back and pick his spot. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Ash Coates does in terms of substitutions. Of course, he's got the establishment in terms of Navy rugby. Dave Pascoe on the bench, most capped Navy Rugby Union player ever. He's got the likes of Matt Harvey, I suppose, as well, that can add a different solidity to the way that the Navy are playing. Matty Dwyer, the Ospreys hooker, can't find his man, and it's Pretty who comes around to pick up the pieces. Kyle Mason, Maltese international, Mr. Mason. After the RAF game, he left to go and play for Malta against Israel and Switzerland. Harry Collins, clubmate and countryman, also went out with him.
Don't do that. No.
So they have got some international experience. It's not quite the same, perhaps,
Forward or hands.
as the likes of Rokadunguni and Prasad on the Army side. Ryan Davis just skidding to a halt there, and Tuna Marlin wrapping his man up. Oh, Chris Budgeon. Well, the Kiwis used to call it the Maori sidestep. I'm not sure what the front row union call it, but Budgeon really enjoying himself so far this afternoon. Nathan Huntley.
No, not finger
It's all a
release.
little haphazard at the moment for the Navy, looking to get their structures back into place with Fairbrother.
Play on, play on. Red release.
For the Scotland under-18, under-19 international, there's Tom Cowley.
Loose up, please.
Odd time to make a change, isn't it? Kind of 3 minutes into the second half.
No. Yeah, you need to get your balance. Yeah, you come up a
I
bit.
wonder what the psychology is of substitution sometimes. The colours cause. Johnny Stephen feeds, and
Number 1.
again it's Reeves who's penalised. Injured his shoulder in January, Ricky Reeves, came back about 3 or 4 weeks ago. There's Matt Dwyer.
And it was a good scrum, wasn't it, from the Navy? You can see they really bought into it, all 8, and managed to draw the penalty. And the way he's been kicking, I'm not all that surprised that they're having a crack at goal.
There is a bit of a breeze in the stadium, isn't there? But it's obviously not enough to impact the kickers off the tee. We've seen both of them with plenty of distance in the kicks in that first half.
Yeah, I think also, you know, a long-range effort like this, worst-case scenario, you're kind of defending a 22 dropout, or the Army having to clear, you know, from behind their own line.
Well, he's kept it low, but he's kept it on target. There's 3 points for the Navy, 3 more points for John Humphrey.
Yeah, a real asset. I think both kickers today have been a real asset to both teams.
Fair.
Important now, though, that the Navy back this up with a good clearance.
Fairbrother secures possession inside the 22, but gives away the penalty. Well, how many times do we see that on a restart?
Well, we've seen it 3 times today. Both sides guilty of not clearing their lines, and well, you know, you work hard to get in a position to win 3 points and then gift 3 away like that. But gotta say, fantastic work it was from the Army back row there. Kuradi, I think it was, straight in on the ball, and great position, and the referee quite right.
I think it was Chris Mundy coming through there on Fairbrother. Fairbrother who's been playing up in Fylde this season for Mark Nelson. but just finding himself isolated from that restart. So many teams, Pat, get so susceptible after they've scored.
When you look at the very best teams, they drill it and drill it and drill it, and their exit plays from kick receipt, are so well drilled and so well rehearsed, because it's the opportunity to maintain the momentum that you've just gained by scoring some points. And as big a boost as that was to get those 3 points for the Navy, to score first in the second half, it gets negated so quickly, and that in itself is damaging.
That's Chris Mundy being led from the field as his fullback nabs another 3 points. Change you can see in the front row of the Navy. That's Kai Beasley on in place of Carl Mason. This is where the Navy want to play, and this is the man they want to see playing. Roccanunguni stretching away from 2 tackles, and Roccanunguni cannot stop scoring tries against the Navy. A hat-trick on his debut, a hat-trick the following year, one last year, and now he's on the board again. That's why they wanted him back in the Army ranks. The power of Samisa Roccanunguni strikes again for the Army.
Wow, what a spectacular athlete that man is, and just too good. Just too good, in a different class really to the other 29 players out on that pitch, and you give him any space at all, well, he punishes the best teams in the world, and we see here, just what a fine athlete he is. And there really wasn't a lot on, was there? Beats one man, steps inside another, shrugs off a third, and then as soon as he's in space, well, there's no catching him. Brilliant, brilliant try.
It was 6 months ago, almost to the day, that he made his England debut against New Zealand. And of course, injury followed, and he hasn't been allowed to wear the white shirt, the red rose since then. But there, if you needed it, was a reminder of what Samisa Roccanunguni is about. Owen Davis with a simple 9-iron to finish things off. Is that the score that is going to get the Army across the finishing line? Variety is the spice of life, and so it's proving for the Army now as Dave Fairbrother tries to respond for the men in blue. No. Johnny Stevens really had room to snipe through the course of this game so far.
So the game gets loose now, doesn't it? The Navy really have absolutely no choice. They have to chase it, and in doing so, you just feel that will play into the arms, really, of exactly how the Army want this game to open up.
Well, the ball's turning over, and here come the Army from their own 22 again. Joe P, just being snagged there. I think it was Dave Fairbrother coming across, forcing Channel to clear with the kick. Greg Welling calling his full back, but John Humphreys thinks he spotted a space. Humphrey sets it up beautifully, but Owen Davis getting back in front of him.
A real shame actually there. Humphreys did well, didn't he? Dummied right, took the yards well, but as he went to kick, he had 2 guys inside him in acres of space. We'll get another good look at it here. He did well, through the dummy, went down, and you can see, look, 3 forwards inside him, big space in field. They mustn't chase the game too hard. They've still got good players, there's still plenty of time.
So more changes now being issued by Ash Coates. Greg Welling just waiting for an opportunity and a space to come on. He's hoping that man, Dave Pascoe, can provide it. Winning his 34th Navy cap, the most capped Navy player. And his last game, he tells me, in these inter-services, he's hoping to turn out in the Defence World Cup. And Marsh Cormack also leaving Navy ranks, rugby ranks for the last time. That's a disappointing way for him to go, but just having a check-up on this near side. Ben Priddy trying to muscle his way through.
He got on the ball because one lay there too long.
Prasad, who had such an influence on this game in the last 20-25 minutes last season. Mavutu, is it going to be his last inter-services game? Another one who is being mooted to be maybe leaving. If not today, then after the Defence World Cup, which of course ties up alongside the Rugby World Cup 2015. Indeed, the final will be played over the road the Thursday before the Rugby World Cup final. Over the road, of course, being at the Stoop. The Army, the current holders, having won in Auckland in 2011. Davis just hooking that one.
Yeah, he didn't catch it cleanly at all, did he? Bit of a let-up for the Navy.
Chen out to Prasad. Prasad just sniffing an opening, and it's there again. The ball's moved on from Vessels, Nakamavutu, and Bulamakau is going to celebrate his first appearance at Twickenham with try time. And surely the hour mark is yet to come up, but it looks to be game to the Army.
Yeah, I mean, what a brilliant try that was. Bulamakau will celebrate, but it was made, wasn't it, by Jack Prasad. Took the line brilliantly. Lovely little offload. Broke the line as a result, and after that, when it was one-way traffic, it was always going to be a try. And take your hat off to Jack Prasad. He may only know one way to play, and that is to play with all-out attack, but he's very, very good at it. Lovely little show and go, great fend. Lovely offload out of the tackle, and well, Bulamakau doesn't need two invitations to walk one in from 5 metres, does he? Great fend, wasn't it? And lovely hands. And the whole team, Vessels it was, flowing through. And once they're in behind, the Army look absolutely deadly, and well, you would have to say at 36 points with a conversion to come, they've just about wrapped this game up with 20 minutes to go.
Well, Bulamakau's form has impressed the Ospreys so much that it's likely he's going to sign with the Welsh team. And Davis, the Welshman himself, of course, can't add the extras there. Chris Budgeon has left the park. Third time lucky. And the pressure coming on from the Navy 8, forcing Coriardi to pick and drive away. And out into touch. Well, I presume the Army camp is smiling. Kath Brazier, who have you got with you?
I'm here with Army head coach Andy Sanger. Andy, I imagine this is pretty much where you wanted to be at this stage of the game.
Yeah, it's going quite well at the moment, but even though the Mexican wave is starting, the game certainly isn't over, but we're in a good place here.
I mean, the Army like to make Twickenham their own, and I know you can't win it this year, so mixed emotions, and there was a lot of emotion out on that pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. We had, we had a shock result last week. We credit the RAF, but we've certainly put a marker down now, and we're back on track.
Bulamakau's had a great game. He really deserved that last try.
Yeah, it was a team try, and he finished off superbly. Great pace, and yeah, I'm really pleased for him.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks.
Navy back on the attack with Ramakita. What a game he's had, the Navy 7. Oh, just the thought for Ben Priddy that he could move it on.
Yeah, we've mentioned Ramakita a couple of times, haven't we? But he really has had a brilliant game. And in fairness, that's really where I would say the strength in this Navy team lies, in the back row. But that man in particular has worked incredibly hard. And, well, a little mistake there, 5 minutes out from the line, kind of sums up the day for the Navy, doesn't it?
Well, still 16 minutes to go on the clock. And as Andy Sanger says, plenty more for this 81,116 crowd to watch. That's a world record attendance for an amateur match. And much as they're doing their wake-up work with the Twickenham wave, it has been really good sporting entertainment. Sanderson limbering up next to me to join in as it sweeps around the stands. Here it comes. Are you ready, Pat? You've got to do it now. Oh, well, a token effort from Sanderson.
In all fairness, I've never seen all 81,000 people at Twickenham do the Mexican wave. Absolutely brilliant. But look, back to the rugby. This is a big opportunity for the Navy. Can they get back into this game here?
Fairbrother's going to have to take it from the mark.
Look at the Army guys, every single one of them. 3-point stance ready to make the tackle. They want to keep the Navy out.
Paul Llewellyn lassoing his steed to stop Fairbrother. Pretty taking it on. Harvey has his head over the line, but is the ball following it? No, he's held on to it and the moment's gone. All the ambition and enthusiasm and desire from the Navy boys to get another try, but just unable to execute.
Yeah, great fight on the floor, wasn't it, by the Army? Not quite clear who it was that got his head over the ball there to turn it over, but just shows, doesn't it? 15 minutes to go. They are determined to keep the Navy out.
There's Josh Terry. I mentioned how much weight he'd had to shed recently. It's been a very difficult preparation for the tight head. He had to drop 8 kilos in order to get through his qualifications for the Fleet Air Arm pilot training. He's now on. There's Matt Dwyer. He's been replaced now by Pete Austin. There he is, wearing 16.
Good game from Matt Dwyer, you'd have to say. Scrum well, line-out's gone well. Real live wise, been at the forefront of everything for the Army.
Dwyer's just signed a contract extension with the Ospreys. Oh, the pass to Prasad doesn't find it pretty, picks up the scraps. Now, is this an opportunity for the Navy to get another score? Ramakita tries to get the leg drive pumping. Pascoe feeds out. Another little hook inside for Tachias, but here comes Fairbrother. Really has been the focal point for the Navy attacks. Huntley trying to dance around the tackles. Harvey with a little more direct thrust. Advantage. Ah, that was Prasad stopping it. I've got a feeling Prasad may be seeing yellow for that. Here comes the card.
Number 10, never onside.
Good carry, wasn't it, from Fairbrother? The Navy boys still at the line all the time. Huntley pulling the strings, and well, if it wasn't really for 2 or 3 moments of brilliance from the Army backs, you would say this game hasn't been that out of balance, really.
So, the put in for the Navy from Pascoe. Fairbrother picks, gets the call from Tachias. Pushed back again, but they've still got control of the ball. Pretty coming round on the arc.
Tackle, release!
The forwards hanging out to this near side.
Forward away!
Just feel they need to get some cohesive phases together in order to stretch the Army defence. The ball has been so slowly set up and then released, and it just doesn't help the Navy attack in any way, shape or form.
Well, I just think physically, one-on-one, they don't cope with they don't cope with the Army players, particularly in the midfield and out wide. And there's been some great performances today, but ultimately the difference between the two sides has been those outside backs for the Army.
Tom Foley just asking David Sainsbury to check the high tackle as yet more substitutions are about to happen. Certainly wasn't that one.
Oh, great contact, wasn't it? What a fend that was from Fairbrother there.
Well, Fairbrother had to reach quite away for Will Jones, who's 6'4", 6'5".
questioning
Unless you've got a better angle.
the handoff there. Don't forget, Fairbrother is already on a yellow card.
Okay, thank you. Nothing there. Yeah. 9 red.
But I'd be very surprised if we did anything about that. Good handoff. Will Jones should drop his body height, in my opinion.
So it's all change from the benches.
And 2 changes for the Army coming off. Number 9,
Looks like Harry Collins has got a problem there.
21 yards, James Barry.
There's Fairbrother.
Okay. Time on, guys.
Well, 7 minutes to go till the full-time whistle, Pat. Time for your Babcock man of the match.
Well, it almost seems unfair. So much effort gone into this out there today. On the Navy side, fantastic performances in the back row from Ramakita and Fairbrother. But I think the difference between the two teams, and we've alluded to it now for the last half an hour, really has been the Army back three, and none more so than Bullamakau. A fine try, but a fine performance all round, and his individual brilliance really has put the Army in this winning position. He will be my Babcock man of the match.
Well, a try against the RAF and a try against the Navy for the Fijian. Not sure who the message is for, but a happy man, no doubt.
And ultimately, the only real difference was just some individual brilliance from some fantastic athletes. And, you know, look, a wonderful, wonderful game from the Army. Take nothing away from them, they've really entertained, but the Navy boys should hold their heads up high.
No arms and
Harry
offside.
Collins trying to find the soft belly of the Army defence, but no joy there. Pascoe and Ben Priddy desperately trying to find something to finish on a high for, as Jack Prasad's yellow card ticks towards closure. And it is Pascoe who takes at the front. Blackburn wraps his considerable frame around the ball.
And this is a well-constructed drive now from the Navy. If they're patient here, they can take this over.
Here they go, selecting forward gear, try time, and guess what? It's Ben Priddy. He scored the last try last year. Maybe he scored the last try this year. Priddy, try machine.
Yeah, brilliantly constructed drive that time. Priddy on the back, as you would expect. He stores a little bit of pride, but it's just too little, too late. You just feel that they lost their way in the middle third of this game. Had they not, then we could have been in for a fantastic finale. Well executed though, good line out, well taken. The guys work past the ball well. Priddy gets on the back and controls it well, and from this moment on, they just had to be patient and stay together, and they rode it out well. And well, Ben Priddy, yeah, plenty of experience in finishing those off and takes it well, but too little, too late, sadly, for the Navy boys.
Tom Davies with his first chance of points for the Navy. Just unable to draw it back, but
And that makes the score Army 36.
Prasad back on to make it 15 against 15 for these last couple of minutes.
By a blue player, you cannot identify him as a punch to the face by a blue player.
Come on, David.
Wow, this would be a sour way, wouldn't it, to end the game?
Disappointing way to finish if this is a punch from a Navy man.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, we're just checking.
Maybe there's elements of frustration creeping in.
Checking the number.
So much expectation from the Navy today, and well, it wasn't to be, was it? Army just too good, too much quality, really.
No, we wondered whether the match equation would be different because of that loss to the RAF, but the Army have responded in good style in this game. Can't see what they're looking at through that shot, that's for sure.
No, nothing obvious so far. Unless it was an earlier incident.
Yeah, unless they got a wide angle of the scrum.
Well, I think Tom Foley needs to just look at the clock and say there's nothing to be gained.
Yeah. Right. Okay, if it's inconclusive. No, captains, please. We've got a punch from a blue player here we've got a punch from a blue player here after the scrum. Yeah. It's inconclusive on the video. We're just going for a penalty against blue here, red ball. Okay.
Penalty to the Army to finish then.
Well, will they give the crowd what the crowd want, which is not to kick this out? They will. They're going to play. They have all day.
Vessels out to Prasad. Out to Ballykinnesinga.
Push.
The back row replacement, or back three replacement, I should say. Turnover ball for the Navy, but that's it, surely. The whistle goes. The Army have taken it once again. Well, the Navy wondered whether they'd seen the hornet's nest kicked after the RAF beat them. And that seems to have been the case because the Army have responded in some style. We wondered at the beginning of this game what sort of impact it would have. But they've shown, again, with that Fijian influence and that backline, the capacity to play from anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke to Andy Sanger before the game, and he was, I think he was a little bit frustrated and upset by the situation they put themselves in, and he felt they were a better side. And, well, so it proved today, really. They outclassed the Navy, they just got too much quality out there. They went for it from minute one, and it paid off, and all credit to the Army. High-risk rugby, but a big reward today with a 36-18 victory. You know, and the Navy boys, well, they gave it absolutely everything. They left nothing out there, that's for certain, and I don't think they'll die wondering, but they'll be uptight and they'll be frustrated and they'll be upset, but they won't get another chance till this time next year.
Great camaraderie you can see there, and respect between the players. Of course, that Army win means that for the first time in 21 years, it is the RAF that sit atop of the inter-services table. What a happy sight that will be for all those that have worn the light blue shirts this season. It has been coming, it has to be said, for the last few years. We've seen the RAF resurgent, even if they have just been unable to get the vital results. But this year they have. The draw against the Navy, again then the win against the Army. Let's go down pitch side and have a word with the very happy man, the RAF head coach, Tug Wilson. Tug, you must be delighted with what you've seen this afternoon, and of course what your team have achieved through the course of this inter-services.
Absolutely phenomenal. So proud of the lads over the last few months, through the beginning of the season, beating Oxford and Cambridge universities, and then drawing with the Navy a few weeks ago, then beating the Army, coming into an occasion like this as inter-service champions.
Tug, I mentioned this has been coming. We saw last year at RAF Horton you took the Army so close. Have you had that belief? Has that belief been able to bloom in your eyes this season?
Well, definitely. The guys have come back. They knew we were getting closer against the Navy and the Army year on year. They knew as players we can go head-to-head with them and then come out with a result that we believe was just dessert, to be honest.
Well, the RAF no doubt delighted with their lot. Let's hear from Sam Richardson, our Army man down there. Sam, the disappointment of losing to the RAF seems to have spurred your teammates on to a quite superb performance this afternoon. Is it what you expected?
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, they were massively disappointed last week, so it was a case of coming out with everything they had. I think they really did that. I thought up front they were fantastic from early on, and that really set the platform for out wide, where people like Jack Prasad and Mavutu and Rocco out wide really started to really get into the game later on, as well as that. Bully Macau I thought was fantastic, and was rightfully given man of the match.
With that capacity, as we see Jonasa Bulamaka stepping up to the Royal Box to take the Babcock Man of the Match trophy. The capacity of those Fijians to just spark attack from nowhere is critical, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. They played with flair all the way through. It's crucial you get that platform, and I think Forwards coach Gareth Evans will be a very happy man tonight. I thought all the way through, particularly in the set piece, the scrum and the line out, they constantly gave them that ball off on the front foot, which allowed them to really cause some trouble for the Navy out wide.
Well, a deserved reward and award for Janasa Bulamakau. He'll be followed up in due course by the officials, led by Tom Foley. But let's catch up with our Navy man. Nick, disappointment once again at Twickenham, but a lot of pride for everybody wearing blue out there this afternoon.
Yeah, huge amount of pride actually. Going back to the RAF winning, it's refreshed the whole competition, and there'll be a whole new spark next year, which is really good. Disappointed with the Navy in the first half. I felt that we sat off the Army way too much. We came up, but we didn't press and we didn't push across, and the Army just had too many one-on-ones in the end. But, you know, the Navy in the second half, which they don't normally do, they stuck at it, they stuck the game, they won a lot of hard yards. But that was a very good Army performance today, and congratulations to them.
Mention must be made of the departing heroes, the likes of Marsh Cormack, Dave Pascoe. They are, I use the word legends in Navy rugby, and that's right, isn't it? It's a right term for those two guys.
They are two huge legends, and the nicest thing about them, they're absolutely fantastic blokes and people. They've just come over and had a chat, and they're disappointed, they're hurt. I mean, no one wants to lose by that scoreline. They're humble people, and the first thing they did was go over to the Army bench, shake their hands, say well done, and congratulate how well they played.
Well, Dave Pascoe leading his Navy squad up for the last time. He says he may be involved in the Defence World Cup in November, maybe as a player coach. He's obviously been helping with the coaching for setting up this game. There's Jonathan Dance, the RFU president. We've got Lieutenant General John Lorimer, the president of the Army Rugby Union up there, and Vice Admiral Phil Jones, his opposite number for the Royal Navy Rugby Union, along with Peter Rogers there, the chief executive of Babcock International Group. But men who've put their all to the Navy's cause this afternoon, and it really is a long, hard setup for this game. Now, I can guess by about 11 o'clock this evening, all will have been forgotten, but it really is such an emotional response. Pat, as we see the Army stepping up to receive the Babcock Trophy, how different is it for you seeing the service personnel and everything it means to them playing this to what you've been used to with professional rugby?
Well, actually, one of the things which really struck me today actually was the quality of the rugby we're watching out there. Yeah, it is amateur, but really the standard isn't. You know, they are super fit guys. That, you know, their execution of skill in a very, very difficult situation and environment was really to be revelled at, and it was a wonderfully entertaining game to boot. And yeah, it may be amateur rugby, but honestly, you know, they played like professionals, and the effort and the energy that went into that today was outstanding. And you can see, can't you, some fairly dejected faces on the Navy men with good reason, because they gave it everything. And you know, what a great performance it was from the Army, and well, they'll enjoy it tonight, no doubt.
And what's great to see is how the public awareness of this particular event has grown and grown to the 80+ thousand that we've got today.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's a great occasion. It's a wonderful place to come, and the atmosphere is fantastic. But they would not come if the rugby was not of high quality. And you don't come to Twickenham and see the best part of 70 points scored that often, and they have good tries scored by good individuals, and it's a great game of rugby to watch. And I think the players are to be commended for the popularity of this game.
Well, it's the 13th time in the last 14 encounters that the Red Shirts have been able to take hold of the Babcock Trophy for winning this game. There's Jack Prasad. Look at the grin on the Fijian fly half's face. You're not going to be able to wipe that off his face for a good few weeks, that's for sure. Loves his rugby and loves his comrades and the way that they've worked together through the course of this year. He only came back into the reckoning a matter of 6 weeks before camp, having been deployed to Jordan. But such a key cog in the way that the Army machine works. Darrell Ball takes the Babcock Trophy. The arms go up, the celebration starts. also Darryl Ball. What a leader he's been for the Army, and who knows, some of his teammates may be playing their last game, the likes of Papeli Natamavuto there on the left of shot, Jack Prasad, all these guys saying, well, we may play in the Defence World Cup, but this may be their last inter-services game. Gerhard Vessel's there handing the trophy over to Ledoa Jopi. It really has been a squad effort, much as we highlight those Fijian flares, and there's Samisa Rokadanguni. Safe hands from the Bath winger.
We've worked so hard, and the worst thing is that we totally believed that we were going to win today, and to allow them to run away with the game in that manner, we left it too little too late. It's just hugely disappointing.
Can you sort of put your finger on maybe what went wrong then today?
We've got systems in place, and a couple of times, especially at D, we know what Jack and Naka and all can do, and we jumped out the line and allowed them to get in behind us, which then allowed them to run the tries in the corner, and we committed too many to the rucks.
But you've got a World Cup to look forward to now, and maybe the guys can take some confidence out of that.
Yeah, so we've got the systems in place which we didn't have at the beginning of the season, so hopefully we can build on them and cement them even further, and then hopefully by the World Cup it'll be in place, and then coming on to next year everyone will be firing, and then we can put up a real effort.
First of all, many congratulations, another Army victory here. I bet you're wishing you'd done that against the Air Force, are you?
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of a gut wrencher watching them lift the trophy, but you know, sport, rugby's rugby, and they won on the day, and they quite rightly deserved that trophy there.
Your boys responded magnificently this afternoon.
Yeah, we did, and I thought we had that performance against the RAF. It was just a couple of mistakes that really cost us. But you know, the message was just keep the ball, be patient, and I think it proved, especially the first half, what we could do with the ball.
And some great man of the match performance today from your Fijian boys. They came in, once again they've shown their class, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, I mean they have. It's not really all about the Fijian lads. It's a really good team effort. We've worked really hard on our structure, and I think it sort of came to fruition today. But when you get Buller Macau, man of match today, and Rocco, Naka on the end of the balls, the final passes, more often than not they're going to score those tries, and they did that today, which was really good for us.
And magnificent try from Rocco as well. He absolutely scythed through the opposition.
Yeah, he did. That's an international try, isn't it? To pick it up just in his own half and do that was magnificent for us.
I know when you spoke to Julian before kick-off today or a few days ago, you said you weren't thinking about the World Cup. Maybe you're going to give that a bit of thought now, are you?
Yeah, well, I think we will do. We'll sort of have a good night tonight and enjoy this and celebrate this victory. We've got a game next week at Saracens, and then it's just forward planning then for the IDRC.
And 81,000 here, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it? I mean, it's an amateur game, but it just goes to show how much the forces are loved, and how the rugby's entertaining. It's always high scoring, and Joe Public come down and want to get a piece of that, so it's really good for us.
We lost the patience and discipline went up slightly, and that was hard for us. And any momentum we then had, we really struggled to get anything out of it. But well done to the Army, and thoroughly deserved to the RAF on being inter-service champions.
It's been a magnificent day again, magnificent occasion, 81,000. It must be such a privilege to play here.
Yeah, it's an honour, and it's an honour to lead these boys behind me. I'm extremely proud of what we've achieved through the season. We weren't to be today, but we'll pick ourselves up, we'll rebuild, we'll come back, and next year we'll try and win that inter-services title.
Well, next up, of course, it is going to be the RAF representative, Tim Coughlin, the RAF skipper. Let's speak to Tug Wilson, though. Tug, as you see your captain step up for the first time in 21 years, just how proud do you feel right now?
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Actually, I can't put it into words, being 14 points down with literally no time left on the clock against the Navy, to draw 32-all and then to go to Aldershot and beat the Army. It's fantastic. All those guys put in a lot of effort all the time, at work and away from work. My work at 1AMW let me away as coach, and they work all around the country, and I'm just hoping that they absorb this, take this in, and go on from there and continue to perform.
Well, the RAF boys stepping out of the stands and up to the Royal Box, having their moment in the sun, and well deserved it is. I'll tell you what though, Tug, it puts the pressure on already for next year, doesn't it?
As everybody knows with rugby, it's only as good as your last win. So we won that game, we've got to carry on now. We've got to make sure that we do it year on year. It can't be a flash in the pan. My remit was to make it a competition, to make it made sure that we were a competitive side. Now we've got to do that year on year and try and do this again.
And as Nick Bartlett said earlier, it throws the whole inter-services competition into a new mix. It's going to be fascinating to see how it pans out next season.
Yeah, it will be. The Army will come back strong. They're a really good side. They're a good bunch of lads, the same as the Royal Navy. Fantastic people, fantastic servicemen, fantastic rugby players. But we're now getting a bit of accolade and we're getting a bit jointry in what we're doing along with them. And we're representing the combined service, etc., on equal pegging. So it's excellent achievement.
Well, Tim Coughlin having to scrummage his way through the celebrating teammates to take the Babcock Inter-Services Bowl. It confirms that for the first time since 1994, the RAF are the Inter-Services winners. And great celebration for Coughlin and his team, and of course Doug Wilson down on pitch side. What a special moment it is for those guys. It's been a long, long time coming. They've seen the Army dominate, they've seen the Navy take the odd one in 18 years. But this is not only the Army's day, but more particular, it's the RAF who've won the Inter-Services tournament for the first time in 21 years. The Army, though, have taken the match 36-18, yet another great day of inter-services sport here at Twickenham.
Well, Tim, just tell me what it feels like to be holding that the Babcock trophy there. You know, first time in 21 years that the RAF have achieved this. It's a very special occasion.
Words can't describe it. Absolutely unbelievable feeling, lifting that trophy in front of, well, there's only about 5,000 left, but anything I got to lift in Twickenham is probably the best feeling I could have had in my life, to be honest.
You should have had a fly pass at least from a Spitfire or something.
Yeah, I don't think they expected the Army to do it as much of a job as they did, but in the end they put the points on we needed and we could pretty comfortably decide we're going to be Inter-Service champions about 10 minutes to go. It's unbelievable.
I was speaking to Tug Wilson before the game. He said he was more nervous actually at this game than he was with your two matches this year.
Well, obviously you've got no control over the game, have you? I mean, we had to sit back and watch and expect results to come in. But against the Army and the Navy, we could at least put something into changing those. So we had to sit back and watch for 80 minutes, and luckily the Army did what they had to do. So
I just wondered if the next year or two, maybe they'll change the format and actually maybe matches involving the RAF might be the last game of the season.
Oh yeah, I think we're going in the right direction. Our game's probably been against the Army the last 2 years, probably the most exciting game. Today was a good game, but I think if you want an exciting game of rugby, we chuck it out, the Army chuck it about. The Navy are a bit more conservative with what they do, so if you want a good game of rugby for people to watch at home, then I think that's the game you want to watch.
You'd love to be part of an occasion like this though, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, 100%, it's unbelievable, unbelievable.
Yeah, well, we had a few 747s, etc. from British Airways go over, so we'll claim that one. But no Royal Air Force aircraft at the moment.
But really, what an amazing occasion, and for you to win the championship here in these circumstances. Oh,
amazing. The actual event is huge as it is, but for the guys to be able to come along and the Army do us a favour as such and win by the amount they did, and convincingly in the end, and give us the Inter-Service champion, we couldn't ask for anything more, to be honest. A huge event.
Is this the start of something big now for the RAF?
I'd like to think so. Speaking to Andy Sager and some of the Army boys straight afterwards, they will be back and they know about us. They know we've been building for a number of years, and they know that we know that they're going to come back and try and take us on and take us the championship back off us. So I fully expect that, but we've got to work hard. But I think with the support we'll now get from a win, it should develop Air Force rugby. And
of course you've got a World Cup as well in the autumn now, so it's a chance really for you and the Army and Navy as well to really go for it in another major competition. Oh, definitely. The competition's very, very strong. The groups have been drawn, and the people we've got in our group are very, very strong as well. The Army will build, the Navy will build again, and that's a really great platform going into next year's Inter-Services 2016. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.